Hey guys, I'm Ash, and this is WebPR. At WebPR, our goal is to help business owners create a powerful presence on the web. This is the WebPR podcast.
Hi, today we are here with Jac Vanek to discuss how she used social media branding to expand her lifestyle brand, which was deeply influenced by music culture. Hi Jac, how are you doing today?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm great. And we also have Ash Durrani, our creative director, here to discuss all of this with us.
How's it going?
All right. So where should we get started, guys?
How old were you when you first launched your brand, and what was the current status of social media?
So I launched my brand when I was 22, and the status of social media was MySpace, basically. I had a MySpace and then I had a LiveJournal. So LiveJournal, I was like blogging on, I guess before blogging was like ever a thing. And then MySpace is the first tool that I used to like sell my product, and I was selling them through bulletins. Kids were just writing me, telling me what they wanted, and they'd pay through PayPal, and we'd, email correspondence back and forth, and that's kind of how it started before I had like an e-commerce website.
That's awesome.
That's so crazy. So what would you have done differently if you started your business in 2015?
Everything, probably. I mean, there's just a lot more tools now than there was back then, and there's a lot more information that's available, and it's easy to set up a store that looks really nice. It's easy to try to gain followers, where back then it was just a whole different world, and people weren't using social media as a tool for businesses. People were MySpace famous.
That's awesome. You see, what's interesting to me is that when I say you were a social media marketing pioneer, it's true, because you were one of the first social media personalities to actually monetize your fame.
Yeah.
And touching on that point, but also from a business standpoint, I think it's very important for small businesses or brands, because you are a brand. Jac Vanek is a brand. And it's very important to capitalize on your social media presence and monetize it.
Yeah.
What were your approaches, and how did you go about that in your infancy? And also, how would you do that, and how are you doing that now in 2015?
I think like my biggest thing is always just to be honest and just to be myself in things. So even though, Jac Vanek is a brand, but then obviously Jac Vanek's also a person. Yeah. And I like to just like keep that all as kind of like one entity, because I feel like that it allows consumers to connect with the brand like on a personal level that a lot of brands don't have, because I'll post playlists, or I'll post my writings, or I'll post all these different things on my social media channels along with products and things about the brand, and it kind of just gives like a really good feel for like what it is. And that's what I've always done since I've been younger. Like I started out just like blogging and posting stupid MySpace pictures, and I was doing selfies before it was like a thing. I like loved self-portraits.
Using like a digital camera?
Well, I would do I'd have like a tripod, and like I'd have like the clicker, and I would do
advanced
and
selfies.
If you Google Jac Vanek, those are the only things that come up still. So it's really embarrassing. So yeah.
Okay, so going back to the no hate thing, you're really one of the first people that I know of that actually collaborated with like a movement to promote not only the movement but yourself and your brand. How did you, as a 22-year-old college student, think of that idea?
They approached me, if I can remember correctly. There's a lot of people that just they want to like use my presence as well as theirs, and combining them just like makes sense. Mm-hmm. So for that, it made sense. And any like kind of movement that I like work with, I've obviously felt passionate about. I won't work with anything that like doesn't resonate with me personally. So yeah, it just all that kind of stuff happens naturally and organically. That's like what I'm about. Anytime I try to do something that's more, conventional and just like pushing myself in a way that doesn't feel like comfortable, it doesn't work out. So I think that's important for people to remember with their brands. It's like your gut feeling is like really, really important over like anything else.
I think you touched on a great subject, and I think it's something that our viewers and our clients would be interested in, and that is the powerful impact that your brand can get, and the boost you can get by partnering and collaborating with like-minded brands or businesses or charities on social media.
Totally.
I think that's huge, and there's obviously a crossover and an overlap and a benefit for everyone. And I was wondering if you could just elaborate a bit more on your current efforts to do that with existing brands or partnering with different charities, as well as your attempts in the past.
Yeah, I think it's super important because, as a brand, you can realize the amount of people that you can connect with just by yourself. And then once you start partnering with people or collaborating with people, you really see that crossover. And it's good to collaborate with people that are in your same space, but that are also like outside of your space. So me personally, it's like I grew up like kind of in the punk rock sort of music scene. So that's organically where like a lot of my customers and consumers like come from. But you know, partnering with different people, like I've been working with like some country artists lately, so it's like getting like those kind of fans like interested in the brand too, because it's, you know, my brand is very music driven, but I'm personally like grew up in that scene, so it's cool to like bring different people around from like different, you know, walks of life, and there's just always an opportunity to find like new people that will follow you through that.
Whether you're a punk rocker or you're in music or you're in entertainment or you're a local PR company or a national chain or you're a reputable attorney's office, do you think that utilizing social media is powerful for any business?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just the easiest way to reach people because people are on social media all day, every day. So, you know, you think about like having like a brick and mortar store versus like an e-commerce, and e-commerce is so powerful because people from all over the world can shop 24 hours a day. Whereas like with like a brick and mortar store, you're kind of just focused on the 9 to 5 and if people walk through your area. So the reach with the internet is just insane, and I think you'd be stupid not to utilize that as a company or a brand.
Because it's free.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah.
I totally
All
agree.
social
I mean,
media is free.
I buy stuff from boutiques in Australia all the time
yeah.
just because I see these cool Australian Instagram girls wearing it, and it's just so important. But speaking of like collaborations, how do you go about finding, I know you do a little bit of blogger gifting.
Yeah.
How do you go about choosing who to, you know, maybe do a little blogger gifting, and can you maybe touch on how that benefits your business?
So with that, and this is a thing that I mean, in this day and age with the blogger gifting, it gets a little complicated because like the whole blogging lifestyle and like as a business and as a job, people are getting paid like a lot of money to blog, and people are starting to get paid a lot of money to feature products on their Instagram and stuff. And I think it's interesting, and it's also hard as like a startup business like mine to be able to like get into that world. So with me, it's all the bloggers that I gift to, I have like personal connections with. So it's like, it's not like I'm approaching them being like, hey, I'm a nameless, faceless brand and I would really like to, you know, partner with you. It's, you know, making those friendships with people and actually having that like personal connection.
But when you were starting out, if blogger gifting was a thing, don't you think that would have benefited you? Like I was talking to Ash the other day about how if I was starting a yoga studio, one of the first things I would do would be to like go on Instagram and see who is hashtagging like yogi every day or whatever the hashtag is, and send them like a free week of classes.
Well, yeah, well with bloggers, like bloggers and influencers sometimes have more influence than celebrities do these days. So it's like, that's who people are like really looking to see, you know, what the trends are and what's happening and what's cool. So I think it's super important for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So you have a huge social media following, like a huge one. As it's gotten bigger over the years, have you found it difficult to fully engage and utilize those different platforms of social media?
It does get difficult as like one person for sure. You know, I do my best to stay interactive with people because I think that's really important, because if you're commenting back to people or, you know, they see that their comments matter and that you're actually looking at them, it's really beneficial to a brand for sure. But yeah, it does get difficult because there's so many social media channels now, so it's like you gotta do Twitter and Instagram and Vine and YouTube and whatever, so there's just like a lot of different things to take care of along with everything else to do for my brand. So
do you personally think that in your infancy your company would have benefited having a company like WebPR manage your entire social media and web presence?
I definitely do. It's something that I think is like very, very important to any brand, is just to have that like social media presence. And you know, it's hard when you're like a startup and you're like kind of doing everything by yourself to manage that along with like everything else that you're managing. So yeah, I definitely think that I could definitely have benefited from it.
Being a small business owner and an entrepreneur myself, I realized early on how daunting it could be to establish a presence for my own brand and my own company on the internet. And the day-to-day management of that is, I mean, I can't even begin to think about it again because I start sweating, literally. I might get a nosebleed.
Oh my God, I can't imagine trying to start from nothing now. Ugh.
And with everything
like, where do you
available,
start?
Yeah, no, there's just so much. Even like when like a new social media thing comes out, I'm like,
you're like, another one.
like I have enough as it is.
So what advice would you give someone who was starting out now?
Oh man, just for any business in general.
I mean, we can do specifically your like clothing lines.
No, I
'cause
mean,
that's
it's-
your expertise. But yeah, I
I
mean,
think
any startup really.
For me, just like any brand or anything that you're going to do, I think the most important thing is just to be honest with yourself and with your goals and with, you know, what you're into. Just that honesty, for me at least, has really like become such a focal point of my brand. And listening to, you know, the little thoughts inside your head and trusting that and trusting your gut and, you know, working really, really hard, because it, you know, it doesn't always come easy. So it's like, you really have to believe in what you're doing, and you really have to have that drive to make it work.
I totally agree. Having a strategy, a concise, forward-thinking strategy, I think is important as well.
Yeah.
And
you gotta have a plan.
Right?
Kind of. I mean, I didn't really, but like, you have to have somewhat of a plan and somewhat of an idea of what you really want to accomplish and how you want to do that, so you don't get off track, for sure.
I actually I wrote down one of your quotes.
You did?
One of my quotes, or a quote that I
think
I
it's-
re-quoted.
I think it's one of your quotes.
We'll see, I guess.
You said, "You've never taken out a business loan and never accepted an investor. Your company has had absolutely no formal advertising whatsoever, and all of your success has come almost completely through word of mouth, through viral marketing."
Yeah.
I want you to elaborate on that and really explain what you meant when you said that.
When I was younger, you know, I didn't even really know what marketing or PR was. Like, as a 22-year-old, I was just kind of like doing my thing and going to concerts. And how I was marketing myself back in the day is like, you know, I had a bunch of friends in bands and a bunch of musician friends, and I would just give them, when I had just the bracelets and t-shirts and stuff, I would just give my bracelets to them. They would wear it on stage. Their fans would see them wearing it, and then they'd want to buy it. So it was just like a kind of viral guerrilla sort of thing that I was doing before I even really understood what it was.
Yeah.
And so from that, I kind of just organically learned how to do that in different aspects of that in the world, and different kinds of people, of how to just interact and get them stoked on the product and have their followers kind of follow along.
You're hitting on key words that our company, WebPR, we actually live by those words. You said organic, you said guerrilla marketing. These are all things that are essential to the lifeline of establishing a presence for any small business or for a large business.
Yeah.
And I think it's vital that we stress the importance on that, and again, mention that it's free. You just have to know how to utilize it correctly.
Oh yeah.
I was
And
literally
you-
just about
you
to
did
say
that.
that. Like,
Yeah.
it's free marketing. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, no, I think it's super smart, and it's just, you know, people can pick up on if something's not genuine. So I think it's really important just to keep that honesty with the brand, and to just make sure things are on point with, you know, what your mantra is for your brand, and what, you know, what it is you're about. Because
We actually talked about that in a meeting just the other day, about
Yeah.
how like so many companies will come to us and they won't even know what they want to say with their brand.
And that's the thing, it's like you really need to figure out what you're about. Like, you have to figure it out.
Writing a mission statement, I think, is important.
Mission statement, that's what I was trying to think of. I'm like, it's the brand
That
mantra? That's not right, but
A mantra.
well, I call it my brand mantra.
A
But
mantra
mission
is
statement
perfect.
is what I meant.
But yeah, that's so vital and so essential, and it's literally sitting down with a pen and a piece of paper and having every employee or every partner involved in your business write a mission statement. I require every everyone that I work with to write a mission statement, whether I've been in business for 5 years or 5 days.
You did.
It's important for you to get an identity of what you're doing and then define that identity yourself.
He gave me a chart when he hired me.
Oh,
He was like, define what you want to do with all of these things. And I was like,
no, it's super smart. And yeah, even having like bullet points or something, like just like having an idea for yourself, but also for if you have employees, just so everybody's on the same page, so people aren't like confused about, you know, what it is that you're trying to accomplish, what it is you're doing now. Like, you have to have an overall picture of like what your brand's about, or else you're going to start going like way off topic. Especially with branding and like social media and stuff like that. It's like, is this on brand? Yes or no? Is this on brand? Like, and you need to know.
I agree.
Jac, does it surprise you how essential social media has gotten for small businesses and big business alike?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day when before social media even like had the term social media, I guess, like back when I started my business, people didn't really take it seriously as a tool for, you know, for brands and for making money. So I never really expected it to be. It kind of just took on a life of its own and became this huge, crazy main tool for, you know, especially my brand success. So yeah, it's nuts. I never really thought it would happen that way.
Do you think that being a MySpace celebrity of sorts kind of helped you dive right into all the new platforms and immediately have a following, or did you have to build it from the ground up with each one?
No, I think it definitely helped, because when I started my brand, I had already had like a following. So, I mean, that's why I started it. I wasn't just gonna be like, I'm gonna make this and sell it and to the one person I'm friends with. So I kind of had like a following when I started it. That was the reason. And yeah, and it just it's always just grown organically from there. I haven't really like tried to like push it one way or another.
Yeah, it surprises me and it amazes me how small businesses fail to realize the importance of utilizing social media. And what's great about WebPR is that for the price of a minimum wage employee, we can create and manage your entire social media presence from A to Z.
Yeah.
And I hate for that to sound like a pitch, but it's true. And being a business owner and doing what you do you think that would be appealing for you, as far as a startup or as an existing business?
Yeah, I definitely think it is, especially if you have no previous experience in it. I mean, it's great to have somebody to control that knows exactly what they're doing, and they know how to gain followers, and they know how to engage correctly. It's like almost, I feel like somebody could write a book about it now. Like there's fail-proof ways of, you know.
A 15-year-old could write a book about it. I actually probably made a joke in my blog that I wrote on our website the other day about how like a seven-year-old is probably better at social media than my mom.
Sometimes I feel like I'm like out of touch. I'm like I'm really in touch, but then I'm like, nope, don't really know. I don't know these words anymore that people are using.
But that's why it's great to have a company like WebPR, because we are constantly on, like I'm constantly on Mashable or our website or Pinterest. I'm just looking at articles, keeping up to date with the social media trends, and it changes every day.
That's what's hard about it, is like trying to keep up with the trends and trying to, you know, things just change so fast in this like technological age that it is really hard to keep up with everything and to be on top of things. And I think my thing that, you know, made me so successful since the beginning is because I was in everything like at the very beginning. So, you know, with new social media sites or new whatever it is, it's good to be in it like right when it starts. And, you know, if you have something that's kind of like keeping track of all the social media, everything, it's nice, because then you will be there.
Just being on like the cutting edge of everything all the time.
Well, yeah,
life rule.
Yeah, because if you're in there, if you're in from the beginning, you're just going to naturally get that kind of following.
Having someone create that presence and manage that presence for you, I think is even more appealing than anything else. Getting in on the ground floor is essential and it's important. And if you have the luck or the opportunity to do that, awesome.
But not everybody does, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do now?
Yeah, if you're in a startup business right now.
You know what I mean? So.
And again, I think having a service like this gives that opportunity for the business owner to really focus on their bottom line, their business, running their business, their day-to-days, while we take care of everything to do with the internet. And I don't think it's been done before. And I think that if I were a small business owner, I would definitely capitalize on that.
I would, because I mean, it is hard. I'm the social media manager for this company. It's not necessarily easy, but it's easier for me to run social media for someone else's business than for myself, because I feel like I'm being maybe like a little narcissistic, or I just don't want to be. I don't want to be over posting, and I like talking about myself is harder than talking about other people. So I mean, even I, as an individual, would love a company like this who would hire, like, just take care of everything for me.
Yeah, then you don't have to worry about it.
I mean, and a company like this, like, you've sat down with them, you've told them like exactly how you want to appear on the internet. Like, there are certain companies that, like Google, they want to appear loose, like they have foosball tables in their office and that's their brand. And then there are other companies like law firms who want to appear structured and together. And those are two very different approaches to successful businesses. And I think it's important to know which way you want to go with everything.
Yeah, you got to know your brand.
I think showcasing company culture is essential for any company, whether you are an attorney or if you are somebody like Google or WebPR. It's essential to the lifeline of a business to really showcase that company culture. And what social media does is it enables the business to directly interact with their customer base and engage. And just because you are an attorney doesn't mean that you can't do that. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't do that.
Be a cool attorney.
Yeah.
An attorney that wears flip-flops.
There you go, you know?
No, but I also think it's important to relate to, like, I mean, these social media kids, I guess we should say, they're turning 18. They are the future of businesses. And if you're, let's say, like 50 years old and you're a lawyer and I'm 18 and I need a lawyer, I'm going to look online and see your reviews and your social media presence. And if I find you relatable, I'm going to be more likely to hire you than somebody that just has like one stagnant website that isn't interactive. I know nothing about you.
Totally.
Like, why would I hire you to take care of my legal issue if I can't find anything about you online?
Yeah, and that kind of, that connection and that, it's like you have like a relationship almost, like with somebody. When you're like looking through something, you're like, do I want that person or that person? This person I feel like I can relate to. This person's just like a nothingness.
Even with doctors, like psychologytoday.com.
So important with doctors.
Like some of them don't even realize how important that profile alone is. Like, if it's just your photo and your address and your phone number, you're probably not going to get booked as often as somebody who's like, this is what I'm about, this is what I treat, this is what I feel.
Whether you're 13 or 55, baby boomer or teenager, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, customers want to actively and socially and personally engage with you. And if you're not doing that and you're not utilizing free services out there like social media to do that, then what are you doing?
Even
because
like customer service issues. Like, Jack, let's go back to Jack. How do you handle, like, do you have a Yelp page?
No, I don't think you can have Yelp pages for websites, can you?
Yeah, you can.
I think so.
You can?
Oh, okay. You're totally going to sign up with our service, and we're going to create all this stuff for you.
Really?
Jack, we need to get you on Yelp.
I'm going to get your credit card number at the end of the show, and we'll get all this stuff for
Okay,
you.
well, then we'll back it up.
I'm joking.
Do you visibly handle customer service issues on social media platforms?
That's a beautiful point that you brought up.
Like if somebody had a complaint like through Instagram. Yeah, I mean, I have a person, like I have a customer service person.
Okay.
So I would just direct them to them. Cause I mean, a lot of times, like, again, with social media, it's way easier to like complain to somebody over social media than it is to be like, I'm gonna look up that customer service thing and then I'm gonna email them. So I think it's important if somebody has a complaint to like address it where it is addressed, and, you know, help them as much as possible in like the easiest way that you can.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely, like, if I'm going through Yelp reviews, which is rare, but if I see a business that has had a complaint and then just responded to that person and been like, email us and maybe we'll take care of this issue, I feel much more comfortable with them than I do somebody who just ignored it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because you want to know that whatever brand that you're interacting with is actually interacting back with you, and they're not just like that they read your complaints and they want to get better.
And you know what? Like, I actually don't know that second business didn't address the issue. Maybe they emailed that person directly and handled it, but seeing it out there that it was handled is just, it's really comforting.
Yeah, you just know that people are paying attention.
I'm so happy that you came in, because I think we stress the importance to our potential clients and our viewers out there that social media should be the lifeline of your brand, of your company, whether it's in its infancy or whether it's been established.
Yeah.
And the key points that we touched on: guerrilla marketing, viral marketing, how to actually partner and engage with like-minded businesses to boost your presence on social media. These are all great things, and I think that they definitely have been spoken about before, but it's good to have somebody from your background and from your viewpoint and from your level of success come in and really share your thoughts, your ideas, and the keys to your success. So we really appreciate you coming in, Jac.
Thanks. I had a good time.
It's definitely been a pleasure. Thank you for coming in, Jac.
Of course. Anytime. I'll come every week.
If you guys are interested in checking out Jac Vanek and what her brand is about, visit her website at jacvanek.com. That's JACVANEK.com.
And Instagram is just Jac Vanek. And Twitter, Jac Vanek. Everything Jac Vanek.
Everything Jac Vanek. All Jac Vanek, everything.
All Jac Vanek.
Also, be sure to check us out at webpr.com and on Instagram and Twitter at WebPR LLC. Thanks, guys.